So, as landlords of our own domain, what are you allowing? Because we have to recognize the difference between tenants and squatters. And what do I mean by that? I mean the thoughts that are consuming us, the things that we go through on a daily basis to process things, to work things out, to take on stresses, to cope with those stresses. Are we having tenants which are the productive thoughts that are paying into and allowing us to, work this property? Tenants pay, and therefore they allow the property to work through paying a landscaping crew, through keeping the outside looking nice, the paint, by having a maintenance staff, all those things. Do you have tenants in your head, or do you have squatters? Squatters are when we talk about, hey, somebody's living rent free in your head. So these are the people that are taking up your energy, your thoughts, a lot of positive things that you could be doing during the day or even at night, causing sleepless nights, but they're not paying in. They're just always extracting. So when we hear about squatters, we hear about people who are just living rent free in areas that they're not supposed to be in. Somehow they've usurped something in the law, and so they're sometimes allowed to be there when it's to the chagrin of people who may live around it or the people who own the actual structures. So what are we doing when we're talking about that? Because a lot of times, not everybody, but you'll see things like vandalism, you'll see things like crime, you'll see things, removed from the property that don't belong to the squatters. So do we have tenants or squatters in our heads? And at that point, are we just passing out rent notices saying, hey, it's time to, pay in for these thoughts that I'm putting out? How are these thoughts going to pay me, as in the form of the tenants? Or do we start evicting the squatters? Do we start evicting even the bad tenants? What are we doing to clear our minds? Basically, this is a roundabout way of saying clear your minds, push out the bad thoughts, allow the positive ones to stay in your head and have more room to circulate. But what we don't want to do is allow squatter upon squatter upon squatter in the form of drama, people that we don't need in our lives, things that we're doing to ourselves. It's not always external. Most of the time it's internal, and the work that we're not doing to improve ourselves, mind, body, and soul. So guys, sometimes you got to push out your own squatters. It's not always that one friend who's always got some drama, or that one person who's always calling you up at a weird hour trying to, extract, your productivity or your energy so they can vent. Sometimes it's just us looking at ourselves and knowing that we could be doing more, but we're not. It's not a reason to kick yourself. It's just a reason to refocus. And again, you focus more when you have more room to focus in. So that's where we put out the squatters. Start giving those eviction notices to the thoughts that you manifest in your mind that are not positive and productive for you, and to the people, situations, and even just the things that we put into our bodies, not even people, but the circumstances in which we allow these things to manifest and live within our minds rent free. So guys, what are your thoughts on this? I know that I gave like a kind of a weird example, but hopefully you understand what I'm saying. And I would love to get your ace up the sleeve, your advice, comment, experience. As always, subscriptions to the channel are free. Would love to see you guys. Share the content with somebody else. Maybe they need it as well. And again, in this economy, free is a good thing. So, pass it on. Share the savings. And leave your advice, comment, experience in the chat below. Would love to hear from you guys. And as always, I hope this finds everybody in your place, pursuit, or beginnings of total health, mind, body, and soul. Peace, love, unity, solidarity.